that's better. Okay. I'm good, I think.
All right, so we're not quite on there yet. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, hello, my name is Cindy Bennett. Welcome to my channel. Oh, now I have two lives. Oh, that's funny. Are you there? Okay, that was weird. I've never had that happen before. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Julie?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were talking to
Okay.
somebody out there in YouTube land.
I don't know. It was weird. I had two of them going. I just want to make sure that YouTube has me on live. It says I'm live. This is the part I don't like, is trying to make sure that I'm on. So I am here with Julie Connor. And Julie, how long have you been with VIPKID?
This is my third contract.
Your third contract. Okay, great. Well, it's third. Okay. So when did you start the health and wellness group on Facebook?
I started, I tend to jump into things sometimes when I see the need, not necessarily because anyway, because I've worked with mental health and wellness for so long, my background is in education. That's what my doctorate is in. And I have a minor in psychology. And because I've worked with at-risk youth and developed programs around mental health and wellness for so long, when I first joined VIPKID, it did not take me very long to realize, to hear the hurt underneath some of the posts or some of the emotional turmoil that people were experiencing. And one of the things I noticed in some of the groups is that
I'm listening. I'm just checking my iPad here.
Oh, right.
Go ahead.
I'll just keep talking. And
you're used to that.
That's what I do when I teach. I don't care if anybody's listening. I'm talking.
That's good.
And if there's anything I've learned through teaching, it's just because if I'm talking, do not assume no one's listening.
Right.
But
that's
anyway,
true.
I think what shocked me sometimes was not the comments about people experiencing depression from sleep deprivation or anxiety about the newness of all these tools. What shocked me were the responses I was seeing in some of the groups about, this is no place for that. Go talk to a counselor. This group is for talking about XYZ. And I thought, my goodness, these people are being pushed onto an island. And so it was out of that I created the VIPKID Mental Health and Wellness Group as a safe respite, as a place where people could to feel safe and to feel heard. It is not a place for professional counseling. And we make very clear what our boundaries are in the about section. It is a place for support and encouragement and to find positive energy and to connect with other people who are positive as well.
Right. That's what made me really love VIPKID, even just the positive energy. And then when I did see groups like that, I just got off them right away. I'm like, I have been online for over 20 years. I had a group of, I have 13 kids. So there was a group of large families who, if you have a lot of kids, a lot of times you get a lot of flack from people.
What is that about?
So we had a safe haven right on the computer for all these years. And now some of those same people are on a Facebook group now. And so, but through the years, I've seen that. And, we actually, a small group of people, we had our little squabbles, but we worked through them.
Yeah.
We said, why are we doing this? Why are we, even though it was for a lot of people, it was for moms who homeschooled, who had a lot of kids, and they were also Christians. So we had a lot in common, but even though you want a lot of kids, you might only end up with 2.
Right.
Or 3, or you might adopt, so we were still a lot different. So we learned so much by by that whole thing. And one of the things that we learned was how to accept each other. Because, you know, when you're younger, you feel like you know the exact right way to live, and then you realize you have to make room. Everybody has different.
Always, always. And you know what was so
So,
funny in my own journey? I was always a people person, a people pleaser, and shy and introverted by nature. By training, I'm in front of people all the time, but my nature is more introverted. And so when I was an easy target for being bullied, and
mm,
and I think you get to a point where you've just, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you make changes in your own life. And I reached that point. And I remember something delightful for me is when I was teaching in an inner city school district once. The one of the school counselors who was new was standing at the mailboxes, and I could hear her sniff. I knew she was crying. And I
oh,
went up behind her, and as we talked, and I asked her how she was doing, and she said it's such a scary place, and she was in tears, and I said, this place will either break you
yeah,
or it will make you stronger. The
right.
same fire that melts butter hardens steel.
Yeah.
And I said, when I first came here, I was a kitten. And I did not know this, but there was a principal standing behind me. And he said, and now she's a lioness. And that was that was an affirmation to me about how far I've
Hmm.
come. And I
Yeah.
just do not take a whole lot of nonsense anymore. And
Yeah.
so and that
Yeah.
may come out in some of my posts, but that's
Yeah.
another story.
But I think, I don't know how old you are, but it's a point that I learned.
21. I am 21. I've been teaching for
Me
40
too.
years
Me
and
too.
I am 21.
But I got to a point where I'm like, I could be that guy's mother. I'm going to tell him a thing or two.
Please. No, I'm 62.
Okay. Couple years older than me, not too much.
I'm a couple of years
But
older than dirt. I'm
yeah, yeah. But I just love this job. Like, that was the thing about VIP Kid. I thought, is this just for young people, or, am I going to be okay with it? And I've really seen where the students and the parents really respect, even though you are an older person, it doesn't mean that you're, I don't know. I think in America they're not as tolerant of the whole
Oh, yeah,
age.
I have something to say on that because in 2011 I had just finished my doctoral work. 2 weeks
Wow.
later, the school district where I work invited me not to come back. And all of us that were in middle
Oh my
management, I was an
word.
instructional coach, and the school district was downsizing. And I had to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I was burnt out anyway. And something that I've heard lots of different VIP kid teachers say, and it was certainly true for me, is I was angry. There were systemic things that I thought were not good, were not healthy for children or teachers. And through VIP Kid, I fell in love with teaching again.
Yes, I
And
agree.
we're and something too is, I had a principal tell me once when I was interviewing for a position after I left the Kansas City, Missouri school district. I had a principal where I was interviewing saying, there's with teaching, there is a salary ladder in place. And they pay you according to years of experience and education. And that's where you're locked in. And one principal said, I'd love to hire you, but I can hire 3 student teachers for the price of you. And something that I found through VIP Kid is that VIP Kid values our experience. And I think they
Wow.
value what we bring to the table. So that's really
Wow.
exciting.
I just can say this to you right now. I only talked to you for a few minutes during that collaboration, and I feel privileged to have you and to be able to talk to you one on one. I feel honored, and your
Oh,
wisdom comes
it's
out in your
mutual.
speech. You're definitely encouraging, and I
Oh,
totally see your wisdom. Yeah. So I really appreciate you agreeing to this interview.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled.
So we have in the chat box, we have Micah and Casey.
Hi, Micah.
And Amy
Hi,
Lou.
Casey.
And
Hi.
Meredith. Meredith is my friend in Georgia.
Hi.
I feel like she's one of my best friends, but I haven't met her yet because we were supposed to meet at the Journey and it just got cut off. Evelyn, Danny. Yeah,
Hi,
so
Evelyn.
thank you guys for coming, everyone. So before we get into the actual interview, that was just kind of the basic beginning chit chat. I have a game for you and it's called Find That Prop.
Oh, God. Okay, here. Yeah. I was showing this. This is.
Okay, here we go. You
Okay,
gotta
good.
see how fast you can find it. I've got a list right here.
Okay.
All right, first of all, if you need your whiteboard real quick, how fast can you find your whiteboard?
Is this for everybody?
Awesome. Okay, good. No, this is just you and I. Yeah.
This is actually a whiteboard. This is
is it?
Yeah, it's a white magnetic whiteboard, but because of my lights, it would reflect.
Okay.
It reflects on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
And so I painted it with black chalkboard paint.
Okay.
So I can write on it with chalk, but it's also magnetic, so I can.
Oh, awesome. So do you write on it during class? Oh, that's cool.
Some things, yes, I can.
Oh, I want to do that. I have I think teacher Tina, she recommended the those drip pans. That's what I have behind here.
Oh,
I've always wanted to paint those.
Yeah.
One of these days I'm going to paint my entire wall, which is paneling right there, and I'm going to paint my I painted this. This was like on.
That's adorable. I love it. It is so cute. That's the first thing I noticed is how friendly that is and happy.
Well, I'm known for switching my thing at any random time, so you never know when you turn on the camera.
I'm known for not changing anything. Go ahead. Carry on.
Yeah. I wish I could do that. I haven't settled into just the same thing. So Evelyn says you live in her city or a city near her. Okay.
Yes. Kansas City.
And Danny's, hello, Danny. And Danny loves your background.
Oh, thank you.
So how fast can you find a horse? Okay. What would you use if you needed a pet? In your lesson, all of a sudden there's a pet and you want to, okay. All right, how about a boat? Do you have a boat?
Boat. They're in here.
A
this
boat.
Is where I got a boat card in here. Taxi, train, truck. There's a boat in here. I
did this with Paula. She couldn't find a boat.
Boat.
Sometimes when they go on a boat, they go to Britain on a boat. The Queen Mary.
Oh, I do have that. I have a whole file on Queen Mary.
Oh, okay. How about friends? What if have you ever taught level 5 in the friend unit?
Yes, that's what I've got right here. My whole envelope is filled with friends.
All right, I need some help with that. Like, okay, this kid hardly talks. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't have anything he's done with his friends. He's a boy.
Here's lonely.
He doesn't seem lonely.
And happy friends.
Oh, that's nice.
And
so what makes a good friend? What would you talk about other than the actual words in the lesson? I'd like to expand on that.
Pictures, I think, become the triggers for conversation so that when I hold up, like, what do you think makes a good friend? Do they look like good friends? Okay. Why or why not? And it gives them an opportunity. So, they have many of the same words that we do, including bullying and stuff. And I have some pictures of, this is me with my friends.
Oh, nice.
And so.
Very nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I sometimes I will refer to the Marvel movies like, Captain America, Iron Man, because and they seem to light up. especially since we've been quarantined, they haven't really done much with their friends, and boys don't usually talk on the phone much.
Right.
Like, I have one boy, I think he studies all the time. I have this other boy, he's really cute. And in his notes, his mother wants me to get conversation out of him. But it's like, what? I think in the curriculum it says, name something exciting you did with your friend. And he's like, I haven't done anything. And you're like, come
But what
on.
do you like to do that's exciting?
Yeah.
Have you ever? And yeah,
Are you going to?
are you going to? What would you? No,
What
that's a
would you
good
do?
time, good opportunity to pull out a world map. And
A world
something on
map.
world
Yeah.
map. Ah, this is my map. When I refer to the world map, I refer to this. It's a topographical map. There are no boundaries, hence there are no issues.
Right.
So
Nice. Yeah. Well, I did tell him that we're friends. We talk. This is exciting. It's
yeah,
exciting
it
to me.
is.
So you have friends across the world. You talk to them online. That, I mean, it's mundane now, but it's the first day I hooked up with China, I was like jumping around the house. My husband's like, aren't you supposed to be teaching? I'm like, oh, I have 30 minutes. I just wanted to sign in early and make sure everything was okay. And honestly, the kid was there. Might not have been 30 minutes, might have been like 20 minutes, but that kid was there early.
Mhm.
So
I
yeah.
don't think I've spoken to very large audiences before, and I don't think there was ever a time I was as terrified as I was as the day I did my first VIPKID
Wow.
class with a 5-year-old.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, I
I
don't feel
was
so bad now. Everybody
that
out
was
there watching this,
oh, I was scared
it's
out of my
normal. It's
mind.
normal.
And I don't
Yes.
know why. I just was so nervous. I guess
Yeah.
because with video, it's so personal, it's so intimate,
Yeah.
and it's one on one.
Yeah.
So there's no way the camera does not lie. So
Yeah. It is a unique experience. I'm still, it still gives me the chills to think about it. So, we talked about a little bit about yourself. Can you tell us, how did you find VIP Kid?
I was watching videos. I was in my business as a speaker, there's ups and downs, and times, especially during the summer months, it's it drops off.
Yeah.
It picks up in the fall and carries on throughout the spring. But I wanted
Yeah.
something to fill in for the summer months,
Yeah.
and I started watching videos. And one of the first set of videos that I discovered was Jennifer Anderson, who became my mentor early on.
Okay. Oh,
And
awesome.
I watched her videos like crazy. And then
Mm-hmm.
I kind of went on this hiatus because I thought I don't have the time. And about 9 months passed. And I remember talking to a friend of mine. I was doing a presentation at an event, and somebody came up to me and we were talking. And she was going through job transitions. And I remember this like yesterday. She said, I said, have you found anything? And she said, yeah, I think I'm going to consider working for VIPKID. Have you heard of it? And for some reason, something clicked to me. I applied that day. She never did follow through with it, but I went in 100% all in the next day.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah. Great.
yeah, those
Awesome.
videos are really, really powerful way to connect and build marketing.
Yeah. Now, what levels are you certified for?
I have 20 certifications. I'm certified level 1 through grade 8. I have some of the special certifications like storytelling and um, the TEFL classes and some of the free talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think, ironically, because especially in the last 20 years, so much of my speaking has been to teen and adult audiences. Uh, when I first started teaching, I taught third and fourth grade in a combined rural classroom, and so levels 2, 3, and 4 are it's just
Yeah.
delightful.
Yeah.
And
I love those too.
one of the groups that I think, in terms of rewards, that I have found very fun with that age has been the VIP Kid. Oh, I hope I get this right. The VIP Kid, they draw.
The drawing rewards.
The drawing rewards.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that one too.
Those kids just go bananas. And
Yes.
yesterday, is it okay if I just keep random talking, or
Sure.
okay, I'll finish this and I'll be done. We were talking about the seasons, and
Yep.
so with one child, and he's so smart, just as smart as a whip, 7 years old, and I used my shapes flashcards to make the cuts in a piece of paper. He had a piece of paper, I had a piece of paper, we both had scissors, and I would roll the dice and it would pick up a numbered card. So cut a rectangle into
Oh,
that.
nice. Great
And we both
idea.
had snowflakes at the end of it.
Oh,
Well, we
nice.
began class the next day about parts of the body. And the very first thing, he was so proud, he showed me a
Yep.
snowflake that his mother made,
Oh,
because they started making
nice.
snowflakes that night. So
Great. Yeah,
there's a
I
lot of
did
great ideas.
those. I did those at Christmas time and I had snowflakes all over my background. And some of them had never done that before. They seemed like they had never done it before, like just cutting out snowflakes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's really fun.
so many don't. Some celebrate Christmas, many don't. And
And maybe
so,
they're too busy to do little things like that that seem small to us, but to kids it's something really special.
oh, they just,
Yeah.
yeah. When I asked them to get out pieces of paper, some of the kids that I've connected with that have sent, the ESL gift group,
Okay.
that I've sent gifts to. One of the things, and I don't send big, great gifts. One of the big gifts that I tend to send a lot is a
Oh.
marker and the paddle whiteboard, so
Oh.
that when we're talking in class, I get out mine, they get out theirs, and then we draw.
Oh, I didn't know you could send those. That's cool. That's really cool.
So, oh, she can find it.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, what are your goals for VIP Kid? What do you have for goals for yourself?
I
Of course, you said you wrote a goal setting book, right? We didn't
Dreams to
mention
Action
that.
Trailblazers Guide. Yes, I
Yeah,
wrote an
I want to
award-winning
check
personal
that one
development
out.
book. Well, that one came out of the. I always wanted to write a book. That one came out by accident, actually, because when I left teaching in 2011, I sat in a chair. Much of my work was research related in 2011. And so I spent the next 2 years in a red chair filling out applications for positions I didn't want. They were
Oh,
all research based
wow.
and gathering data.
Yeah.
And so I started to read motivational books about how to reach your goals. And I would I'd watch YouTube videos, I'd go to workshops, I'd listen to some of these brilliant people talk. I'd buy their books and I'd go home, and the books all talked about how they set goals and became successful, but none of them showed me how I could. And so I
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
find the book, so I wrote what I needed. I wrote the book I
Hmm.
needed.
Oh, good. Wow.
So that's what it's
So
like.
is that on Amazon or?
It's on Amazon. It's
Wow.
Dreams to Action Trailblazers Guide. It's on Amazon. It's $12.99,
Awesome.
and it's 66 pages. It is a used book,
Okay.
so
Awesome. I
it's
think
not
I
about
want to
money.
get that I have 13 kids. I need that book for them, for myself and for them.
Well, something that was exciting is I got a letter from a priest in Tanzania, and a high school in Tanzania purchased copies of the book for their high school students, and they use it as part of their leadership development program in Tanzania. So that's kind of
Yeah. Now,
exciting.
let me just ask you this since you're the author of the book and you've done so much research. Um, so when I'm setting goals, I get a little bit like right now, how do you set goals when you have no idea what the future's going to be?
I think where let me talk from personal experience. When I get all wound up about what's going on outside of me, I get twisted and I start morphing into somebody that I don't know. Um, the most difficult thing I think sometimes, especially as we grow into adulthood, is identifying those things that make us happy. Sometimes, especially as teachers, we become so accustomed to twisting ourselves into what other people need
As
or want.
moms.
Yeah, or as moms, yes, in particular,
Yeah.
that we forget, when I remember when like in 2011, a friend of mine said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know." And he said, "What makes you happy?" And I thought, wow, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so sometimes just it's a process, getting back in touch with the things we love.
Hmm.
I believe um, goals in writing are dreams with deadlines. And I think we can, there's lots of it, on my website at www.drjulieconnor.com. In the store section, there's a tab called store. But if you click on that, there is a drop down menu
Is
of,
it Dr. You said Dr. Julie Connor?
yeah, I'll write it down.
I'm putting it in the chat box.
Okay, yeah, because in the drop down menu are free PDFs. And I've
Okay.
got lots of tools in the book, lots of tools in the book that are free on the website.
Okay.
They're free PDFs and you can just download them. Some of those tools too. This is, oh, wait a minute, it's backwards if I do that.
Nope, nope, not for us.
Oh, it's not. Okay,
It's,
great.
yeah, it might look backwards to you, but it's fine for
And
us.
it's
Yeah.
Connor C. If you put ER, I had one person the other day tell me I spelled my name Connor, Connor, and he says, "I'm sorry, you're spelling your last name wrong."
Well, I've had people after having like maybe 10 kids, I call the hospital and they pre-register and they're like, "What's your name?" "Cindy Bennett." And they're like, "Are you sure that's not short for something?" I'm like, I think I know my name. My name is Cindy. It's not Cynthia, but I just thought it was so funny how they said, "Are you sure?" I'm like,
I
how old am I? How many times have I been there? You've got my chart. It must be pages and pages long.
I swear, people just blow my mind away. Anyway, I just think listen to
Uh,
your heart, listen to your passion. That'll let you know what the next steps are. And I think, let me give a VIP kid example. When I got paralyzed when I first started organizing materials for my VIP classroom. Where do I put it? And I would take like the first set of props I had, I would put them, I would organize and organize and organize. And I watched countless VIP kid videos about how to do this. And I
mm-hmm.
didn't know how to set my classroom up and it was making me crazy. And I finally realized put things somewhere. And same with
Yes,
goals. Take
that's
one step
me.
forward,
Yes,
or losing
yes,
weight, if that's a goal, or exercising more. It doesn't have to be run the marathon tomorrow. It begins with
yes,
10 minutes. Take a 10-minute
yes,
walk 3 days a week.
yes.
Start with where you're
That's
at
it.
and do
Yeah.
something that sounds fun.
Yes, that's great. Well, my goals for like for the summer, I'm doing planting and I'm doing some things because I'm home. So I do have to stay busy. I can't handle just sitting around. So, and I am doing the weight loss group where I'm doing walking because for me, it's just being consistent with something
Yeah,
active,
good health.
So, yeah. All right. So, Julie, thank you for coming. We talked about your experience and your educational background and your VIP Kid background. Did you say what your final goals for VIP Kid are?
I would,
What do you
um, I,
Are you wanting to go
I
to China?
I would like to go overseas. I'm a part of some groups that are think tanks for education and research and exploration of what does 21st century education look like.
Yeah.
If the opportunity came, I would take it. Um, I'm a big believer of our thoughts become things, and as I
Mhm.
focus and get clear, about what's important to me, it seems like those opportunities, if I focus on the things that are really important to me rather than on the things that make me angry or upset or frustrated or
Yes,
whatever,
that's true.
if I focus on what's important and good and happy, then those things, then opportunities start to find their way.
Yes.
I think if I just recently became part of the teacher advocacy group, the Teacher Advocacy Council, and I'm really excited about that. I would like to consider, if they asked me to come to San Francisco or to one of their offices and said, "Would you like to work full time?" Uh,
Oh, that would
yeah,
be
that would be
awesome.
fun. So, but
Yeah.
anyway,
I would like to see just throwing it out there because you're in the education field. I would like to see. I've always wanted the America to be able to experience what we do for the Chinese kids, but I know that not every parent could afford what we do, even
it
as an
is
American.
coming. It is
But
coming.
the educational system in America, it is not good, but I'm not sure I'm agreeing with some of the ideas that are floating around.
Well, I
But
think this, as tragic as the pandemic is, and this has hit my family on a very personal level.
yeah,
Um, uh, but I do think where there's a challenge, there are opportunities, and
right,
and I
exactly.
believe that online education, I said this earlier, online education and the homeschool model are grassroots efforts that
Yes.
will push public education
Yeah.
into the 21st century. And we're
Yeah.
seeing it now. Schools cannot be the same now because
Right.
of some of the things that are going on
But
now.
for years, I have been criticized for homeschooling. And I finally, the last 6.5 years, I actually taught it, but it was in a small Christian school. So I call it homeschooling with help because I was still there with my kids.
Oh, it's becoming
But it's
very
a different
sophisticated.
mindset. It's like kids in America aren't really thirsty for knowledge like they need to be? And I think that VIP kid teachers help with that. The way we teach helps with inspiring kids, and making
Yeah.
education fun, that kind of thing.
I think there will be many more opportunities in the very near future for teachers to teach not only in China but throughout the world.
Yeah.
Um, and already, I mean, like even Disney now has got some platforms for education,
Mm,
and this is shaping what education will look like. And
yeah.
so, and we get to be on the ground floor. We are global ambassadors. I think
Yeah.
we have very important jobs, and we
Yeah.
get to change education. We impact education, one child, one relationship, one lesson,
Yeah.
in a way that has global impact. We have a
Yeah.
very important job. I hear teachers every once in a while say, "My family says that I'm not a real teacher." And
Wow.
I hear that often,
Yeah.
including from uh, some of my own family members. And
Yeah.
whatever other people say is what, I'm a big believer. What other people say about me is not my business.
Well, if they knew the kids, like, I have a kid I had today that loves science. I mean, he was telling me, I don't know, I have to look it back up, but he was saying that people can't be fossils because I don't know. A person isn't a fossil, but a fossil, we were talking about Pompeii. I'm like, I got to go back and read more about this because I'm not an authority on Pompeii, but I mean, he just loves science, and we talked about tsunamis and earthquakes and volcanoes, and he just loved it all. Just went on and on and on. So if they saw the students and how much the kids love learning, they would realize that it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different world. Even my own kids told me, because I homeschooled for years, I'm like, you know, my older kids didn't like math. That's my favorite subject. They're like, you should have been a teacher in China. because I really like structure and I like learning, and I don't understand people that don't like learning. I don't get it. To me, everything is fascinating. So, but that's where we need to be as American. Our children need to thirst for education, because if they don't, that's kind of where it starts, if they don't have. And I think the Chinese kids are the other direction, where they don't have as much, maybe to the other extreme, in my opinion. But
well, the one thing where we do excel that I think other countries look to us for model is in terms of ingenuity and imagination.
yes,
And that
absolutely.
there's a lot to be
Yeah.
said for that. So I
And the
think,
teachers, the VIPKid teachers, have impressed me, because they were given, if you watch the beginnings of VIPKid and how they started and how simple everything was, and then the teachers turned it into this major reward thing and the background thing, like it just upped it up a lot.
yeah,
So I think that's exciting, and
it
that's
is. It's very
American. I
exciting.
think that's
We get to
the
be part of it. So,
yeah.
and I think for anybody that is looking to return to brick and mortar schools or continue online education, look at the experience that we're getting as a result of this.
Right,
So
right. It's true.
this is
And there's
awesome.
nothing that tops one person to person. Like that is important, definitely. But I think educationally we can, add to that as well. But okay, so somebody in the chat box was asking you about your onesie.
Ah! I love it. I
Yeah.
swear. I mean, I have no sense of pride or dignity whatsoever.
So
I
where
wear
did
this
you
thing
get
in
it from
public.
again? Where did you
Five
get it?
Apple Star.
Five.
Teacher Sydney.
Teacher
Um,
Sydney,
Teacher
5
Sydney.
Apple Store.
Five Apple Store, and I have this is what I wear with my teacher Julie onesie, and I wish I could get back further. Um, yeah, this is here. It is
Oh,
a
cute.
onesie, and
Cute.
yeah, and this is good for getting out of the shower at night and putting on my onesie, climbing into bed, getting up the next morning, and I go right into the classroom.
Awesome. It's really cute. I love the colors.
I got this in pink
I've
and
seen the
gray.
full gray one, but I haven't seen one with the
Yes,
pink.
I wear the black one with my panda hat.
Okay.
So
Cute. Very cute.
panda hat not included.
Teacher Casey wants one.
Oh, they are. Oh,
Bye,
$60.
Micah. Micah has to leave.
Bye,
So
Micah. Micah's
we didn't
awesome.
talk about the iPad yet. I was kind of saving the dessert for last. So yeah. Did you touch the mic? Can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Just saying.
There we go. There we go. We got
Am I back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So iPad, when did you get it?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
And
How
like
did you
I
order
told
it?
Cindy, for about, I have been looking at iPads for 2 years, and
Wow, I did not know that.
I would get online and I would become so overwhelmed by all the information.
Yeah.
And a lot of the videos that I watched that said, here's how to pick out an iPad or whatever, every one of them, every one of the ones that I saw, spent the first 15 minutes talking about the technology behind it. It's got
Oh, yeah.
and I wanted to know how to pick it out. What do I need? And so two things really helped me out. The first thing was when everything, like we were talking about with goals, begins with a single step, and I went to a couple of the groups, including my own page on Facebook, and asked, in fact, I think I did this more than once over the course of the last 2 or 3 months, but just recently I was looking in earnest. And I posted, I'm looking for for an iPad. What does everybody use? And somebody posted a link to the VIPKID iPad users group. And that's when I struck the jackpot. I
Yeah.
just hit the mother lode when I found that group. And because I did not have, I loved social media and I know the language of social media. I do not know the language of iPodology. It,
Right. Yeah.
I didn't have the technical tools to even ask questions. And
Mm.
so as I asked questions in the iPad group, no one ever came in and said, go to the announcement section and read it there. No, they answered my questions
Yeah.
and I had a ton. I put a post on iPads and there was a ton of posts by seasoned members of that group that started posting videos that were helpful, that said this is, and Cindy herself, go to her YouTube channel because she's got a ton of really helpful videos there that speak in my language that I can. Your videos, Cindy, are just wonderful.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
you don't go into all
I
kinds
always think,
of,
oh, it's so bad, but
no,
everything
they're
about YouTube
wonderful.
says just do it. So I'm just doing it.
And they're
Hopefully.
simple. And that's how you reach a goal right there. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
said how to reach a goal. You do it.
yeah,
You do something and it will always lead you to the next step. And
yeah. Well,
so
actually, Micah was the first one that I told him because he knew I used my iPad a lot. And I was on the weight loss group and it was kind of small at that point. And I talked to him and I knew sometimes he used the iPad. And I just told him one day, I said, I think we need an iPad group for VIPKID. And he's like, yeah, go for it. So he was the first one that knew that I was going to try it. And it just kind of grew.
how
So
many
that's kind
members
of
are
cool.
there to this group, to the iPad group?
Almost 3,000.
Wow. Yeah, see, it
And
was
it's
just,
not people that I know. It's just, it got popular enough that people refer other people to it now. So
well,
that's,
it lets you know too about the number of people that aren't interested because the
oh,
thing
yeah.
that became, especially on my own Facebook page as well, when I started asking questions and people from your group started to respond to my questions, all kinds of people started to chime in and ask questions and follow the conversation. There were people who purchased iPads based on the conversations that I
Yeah.
was having with members of the iPad group.
Yeah. And that's
And
the other thing that I do not make any money. Like I've wished that I could make a commission on all the iPads that people have bought, but I don't. So my thing is if you like my group, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's free. So everybody could do that for free. That could be your little thank you. I don't make any money, obviously, and I'm not really in it to be popular, but it is kind of fun. It is kind of fun to have
oh,
a lot
her
of
videos
people.
are just,
It's
oh,
fun
oh,
to help people, and it's fun to like when I see somebody's having a problem, I can make a video about it or talk to people on the group and help people and people like you. It's really exciting to know that you got help and that you um, got what you wanted.
oh,
That's
it was
really
fun. And
awesome.
what was really fun was afterwards, you know, in the conversations that followed over the next couple of days that followed, there were people that kept chiming in that I didn't know that would chime in and they'd ask, well, did you decide what you wanted yet? What did you get? We got to know.
Yeah. Because a
And
lot of people, like some people have different budgets, and I don't want to say go for the iPad Pro because it's the greatest, because from what I've seen, a lot of people won't need all the features of the Pro.
I would have loved,
But
because
some
I'm a
people love
teacher,
it.
I would have loved the Pro for the larger screen. I would have loved the Pro for the video tools that it
Yep.
has because
Yep.
that's what I need as a speaker. But budget wise,
Right.
and for what I needed for the classroom, because I wanted a good video, and it's lovely. I bought the iPad Air and
Hmm.
I love it. I got the smart keyboard because it is so compatible and easy. So
This
here's
is the
my,
new one I just got. my husband picked this one out, so I didn't have a choice, but
Which one do you have?
this one is an iPad 7th generation. I do have an iPad Air, but they said this is the newer 7th generation, so I don't know. I haven't really. I think the Air has more gigabytes. Like I think the Air is 64 and the 7th gen is 32, but
Well,
it
the
still
one thing
works.
that was really good for me too is once I started to get some information in my head and language behind my tongue about the questions I wanted to ask, then I went to the Apple page. And, everybody's got their own opinion and what found comfortable for them. And I think there's lots of different ways, whether you go through your carrier or through a store in your home
Yes.
community. Um, what I kept hearing about was the service that I could get through Apple um, to service my iPad. And that's why I purchased everything through Apple.
Yeah.
I
Which
went,
you probably won't need, but the thing about Apple that's nice is you can go there for classes on how to use it to
well, and that
maximize.
too.
Yeah.
And they said nothing beats the customer service that you can find with Apple. I'm sure there's lots of things that can beat the customer service with Apple because there's lots of places that offer good customer service. But
Yeah.
Apple was wonderful to me in a couple of ways. One of the main was when I went to look at support or contact us. I followed a link from contact us, and I contacted, somehow I ended with one of the phone numbers to call. Apple has a personal shopper that will help you, that will talk you through what you need. And the woman explained to me how to access the iCloud. I didn't know really what that was. You had two options about whether to get Wi-Fi or whether to get Wi-Fi and cellular. And based on my needs, I didn't need the cellular because I have an iPhone and the hotspot there. So I just
Right.
Wi-Fi. I didn't get more than the 64 gigabyte because I have access to the iCloud.
Right.
And so to have somebody that was that good about helping me figure out what I needed. And from what I understand, that they get kind of points or credit for the number of things that they sell, but they don't get a commission from
Oh,
you for it.
wow. Huh.
At least those
Well,
people do.
Candy is wanting a link to the keyboard.
It's called a smart keyboard. Apple
Apple
smart
smart.
keyboard.
Mine keyboard is in the case. My husband got me this. It's a Zag case and it's not Apple, but it works pretty well.
I had a Zag for when I taught at a college, all of us had iPads and I had a Zag case. What I thought this was going to be like a Zag, and it isn't. The keyboard is wonderful because
Mm-hmm.
and I know there's going to be people watching this say, stop holding your iPad like that. Um, because here it stands up like this.
Oh,
And
nice. Yeah.
but when
I have
it,
this detachable one. I really love it. This is what I use when I didn't have it in the case like that.
yeah,
I kind of actually like this better because you can put your iPad way up here and then you can put your keyboard like in your lap.
that's going to be my next thing about a stand. But I think somebody in your group told me, don't worry about buying a stand.
That's what I did. I told you that.
Yeah, don't get all kinds of crazy accessories yet. Just
Yeah.
figure out what you want. And it folds to Candy. Once it comes in pieces, like here's the
Oh, that's
keyboard, and
nice.
then it just boop it fits
So it
together.
comes apart really easily.
Yes, very much. And then it folds like this. And then
Nice.
I can take this and put it here. I wish all of this, like the Zag, was a protective case.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to need to get a case for the keyboard in the case.
Or maybe like a bag, a like a soft bag. Because
Yeah,
I will tell you, they do crack. Like the glass can crack if you're not careful. My Air, that's why he gave me a new one, is because the Air has like a hairline crack in it. But I've used it for a long time like that. I haven't upgraded the glass because I was using it all the time. So I didn't want to let it go for, take the chance, but they do break. So I do, yeah, be very careful not to drop it and stuff like that.
I got the Apple Care package with it, the insurance
Oh,
package. It was
nice.
an extra $69 a year.
Okay.
For me,
Well,
it's worth
that'll be
it.
worth it just for the glass, because the glass at our mall we can get it fixed for $100. Just the glass.
So yeah,
So,
I one thing that I liked on the Apple website, and this is Candy too, she was asking about the keyboard, or to anybody that's interested in making the purchase, is on the Apple website. It allows you to compare different keyboards.
mm.
Or it allows you to compare different products. Like when I was looking at the different
Oh,
iPads,
nice.
it
Yep.
had three separate columns: the
Mm-hmm.
Pro, and the iPad, for example. I was looking at three, and to be able to distinguish to be able to see visually
Right.
what were some of the advantages that others had. Oh, and something important, and even though it's just $30, um, when I contacted Apple, somebody had told me in one of the groups, make sure you go to
Oh,
Apple for
right.
Education, uh,
Yes.
because you're a teacher. And
Right.
I was wondering, well, I got my Apple card, but I don't really have an identification number or anything with that. Well, I contacted Apple and I said, when we were doing the prices, I said, I'm a teacher. And she said, oh, great. Well, then you get $20 off your iPad and $10 off your keyboard. And I said, do you need
Nice.
a card number or anything? And she said, nope, we take you at your word.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, teachers don't lie. Or
No.
if you weren't a teacher though, you might lie. Oh,
Depends.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. It's too bad they don't say, "Are you a teacher?" All right. Well, that's great. Well, thank you, Julie, so much. It was so nice to talk with you.
Oh, this is
So,
fun. I'm sure we'll stay in touch because
yeah.
I'm married to your group now.
Oh,
I'm going
awesome.
I'm
Well,
going
I
to
love your
listen.
group too. And we're
Oh,
also on the weight loss group together.
yes.
So we'll be
We're
accountable for
very
good
good.
health.
Well, I
Huh?
just, after your comment about the weight loss group, I checked in yesterday again, shortly after hearing you talk about the weight loss group. And I saw all the people talking about their goals for the week. And I chimed back in because it's not so much weight loss that I'm interested in. I'm interested in healthy eating.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
and I've gotten very lazy.
And
So,
it's good to be accountable. And like for me,
oh,
sometimes I feel like I don't want to walk. I don't want to, I'm feeling like even your emotions can get involved and you just like feel like, ugh. But when you know you're accountable to someone and you have someone you to report to, it does kind of help to keep you spurred along.
all of that is about good health.
Yeah.
All of it is.
And
And
that's what I like. And I like that about Micah's group because he's always been like, he wants to push people to lose weight because he knows that's what they want, but he doesn't want people to feel like that's what it's all about.
right.
It's not all about we want to make sure everybody loses weight. We want people to be healthy, eat right, sleep well, think well.
Micah has written some wonderful articles about sleep and sleep
Mm-hmm.
deprivation and the internal clock. Micah
Mm-hmm.
and I met, I don't know, do you know how long Micah's been a teacher? Micah, is Michael
I
still?
think he left. His daughter had a class.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long Mike has been a teacher, but I do. Micah Kidd is the founder of the VIPKID Health and Wellness Group. He's also one of the administrators of the VIPKID Mental Health and Wellness Group.
Right. Right.
And so, and we're brother sister groups.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's all part of the package. And now the iPad group and the mental health and wellness group are sister group.
Yeah. Yeah. And and that's the thing. Well, now you were on the collaboration on Casey's collaboration the other day. I thought that was funny because I'm like, Casey didn't tell me that Julie was going to be in this collaboration, but that was really cool.
It's, I one of the groups, I think it was Karen Blackburn's positivity group. Karen posted something about her daughter taping a penny to her head. And it was so cute. And underneath it, I said, please, 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 please share this in the VIPKID mental health and wellness group. And I can't remember who it was. I want to say Casey, but it may not have been. Somebody posted underneath that she probably belongs to the VIP. Most of the people that belong to this group belong to that group, which is true. I think we kind of like minds have a
Crisscross.
way
Yeah.
of flocking, of finding one
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
And to anybody that's really concerned about not having students, your students will find you, whether it's pandemic, whether it's summer vacation, whether it's I really believe we live on an abundant planet, and the table is big. There is plenty for all. I read one post where teachers were afraid to share too much in feedback because we have to remember that we are in competition with one another, and we don't want to give anybody ammunition to steal information from us. And to me, that's just backwards thinking.
Yeah.
Because I think I think something that you and I share is Cindy, is, the best of what we have is free,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's
when
true.
we share, all of us benefit, all of
It's
us.
true.
So
Yeah. Well, I've been in my own little world. Like, I'm the mom. I've been like, you know, trying to steer my kids. They don't always listen. It's a whole different world when you're with other adults and people are cooperative, but there are some people that aren't, and you have to gravitate to the ones that you can work with, and the ones that you can, that work for you. And I'm really happy with the groups that I'm in, and I don't join in with any negativity. And even on my iPad group, I had a couple girls that I made one administrator and one a moderator, but for a long time they just kept posting helping people, helping people, helping people. And I said, can I make you an administrator, because you're helping so much. I mean, not like they get anything, but at least it makes it look like they know they're part of the group a little more extensively. But it's been a good group. And I'm also on the YouTubers group, and then Casey's collaboration group. So I have more than enough to keep me busy.
yeah, I think it's exciting. One thing too is when I taught in brick and mortar schools, oftentimes I avoided the teacher's lounge because it became
Wow.
such
Oh.
a nest of gossip and meanness. And, I think teachers are notorious for eating their young. And
Oh, wow. Yeah.
um, I think something that I found that was so refreshing and lovely when I became a VIPKID teacher is some of the groups with which I connected. And I thought, why is this so different with VIPKID? And then it occurred to me, with schools, there's one teacher's lounge, but with Facebook groups and some of these other groups, the meetups and whatever, we get to choose. We pick and choose which ones best align with who we are. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and I just think Cindy, did you start? You were the one who originally started the iPad group, correct?
Right. Right. It was
And
just an idea. Yeah.
it just is. It's a shining reflection of who you are as a person. It's just such a
Oh.
positive place to be, and
Oh,
it's
that's great.
fun. And you are attracting the people
Oh, that's good.
that
I hope so.
want to share in your light.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
thank you for
Well,
creating.
thank you so much. Yeah. Well, I have other people that I feel so privileged. Like I said, I've been alone in my own little world, and I know if it weren't for VIPKID, I wouldn't meet all these amazing teachers. So I am always in awe every day of all these friends that I have, and all
Agreed.
over the world, actually. So,
We are a
yeah.
global community.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I think it's time to move on to our next thing. So I'll have to say
Yay.
goodbye.
Oh, I hope we can do it sometime. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Goodbye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you for everyone who came in the chat. We will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.